although he was in a body other than that of a human being, he remembered the sutra he had chanted in his previous life. Yetate cha tato Uya Samsido Guru Nandana. To enable one to achieve perfection, Krishna gives one the chance to remember him again. This is proved here, for although the king of the elephants, Gajendra, was put in danger, this was a chance for him to remember his previous devotional activities so that he could immediately be rescued by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is imperative, therefore, that all devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. Certainly one should chant the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the Maha mantra or great mantra, and also one should practice chanting Chintamani Prakarasadmasu or the Shinga Sutra or Ito Sri Krishimha Parata Nishinho Yato Yam Tato Nishinha. Every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly, so that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness in this life, in his next life, he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life, for simply by understanding Krishna and his instructions, after giving up this body, one can return home back to God. Even if there is some fall down practice of Krishna consciousness never goes in vain. For example, Harivilas, in his boyhood, practiced chanting the name of Narayana under the direction of his father, but later in his youth, he fell down and became a drunkard, woman hunter, rogue, and thief. Nonetheless, because of chanting the name of Narayana for the purpose of calling his son, whom he had named Narayana, he became advanced even though he was involved in sinful activities. Therefore, we should not forget the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra under any circumstances. It will help us in the greatest danger, as we find in the life of Gajendra. Text number 2. The king of the elephant, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality, and unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Because of him, his material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon you. A nice prayer. Purport. In this verse, the words itat chid atmakam are very important. The material body certainly consists only of material elements. But when one awakens to Krishna conscious understanding, the body is no longer material but spiritual. The material body is meant for sense enjoyment, whereas the spiritual body is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee who engages in the service of the Supreme Lord and who constantly thinks of him should never be considered to have a material body. It is therefore enjoined Gurushu Naramati. One should stop thinking of the spiritual master as an ordinary human being with a material body. Akshay Vishnu Sila Dihi. Everyone knows that the deity in the temple is made of stone, but to think that the deity is merely stone is an offense. Similarly, to think that the body of the spiritual master consists of material ingredients is offensive. Atheists think that the devotees foolishly worship a stone statue as God and an ordinary man as the guru. The fact is, however, that by the grace of Krishna omnipotence, the so-called stone statue of the deity is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the body of the spiritual master is directly spiritual. A pure devotee who is engaged in unavoided devotional service should be understood to be situated on the transcendental path. Sagunam samatitya brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Let us therefore offer our obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whom mere so-called material things also become spiritual when they are engaged in spiritual activity. Omkara or pranava is the symbolic sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesho Brahmanas Sri Vida Smita. The three words Om Tat Sat immediately invoke the Supreme Person. Therefore, Krishna says that he is Omkara in all the Vedic mantras, Pranava Sarva Vedesu. The Vedic mantras are pronounced beginning with Omkara to indicate immediately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, for example, begins with the words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There is no difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, and Omkara, Pranava. We should be careful to understand that the Omkara does indicate, we should be careful to understand that Omkara does not indicate anything nirakara or formless. Indeed, this verse immediately says, Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate. Bhagavan is a person. Thus, Omkara is the representation of the Supreme Person. Omkara is not meant to be impersonal, as the Mayavadi philosophers consider it to be. That is distinctly expressed here by the words Purushaya. The supreme truth addressed by Omkara is Purusha, the supreme person. He is not impersonal. Unless he is a person, how can he control the great stalwart controllers of this universe? Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva are the supreme controllers of this universe. But Lord Vishnu is offered obeisances even by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Therefore, this Therefore, this verse uses the word Pareshaya, which indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by exalted demigods. Pareshaya means Parameshwaram. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are Ishwaras, great controllers. But Lord Vishnu is the Parameshwara, the supreme controller. Haribol. Text 3. The supreme Godhead as the supreme platform is the supreme platform on which everything text rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is the only cause of this cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender unto him, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is self sufficient in everything. That's very interesting. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9.4, the Lord says, Mayatatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktam vortina. I am the supreme personality of Godhead, but everything rests upon my energy, just as an earthen pot rests on the earth. The place where an earthen pot rests is also earth. Then again, the earthen pot is manufactured by a potter whose body is a product of earth. The potter wheel with which the pot is made is an expansion of the earth, and the ingredients from which the pot in which the pots in which the pot in which the pot are made are also earth, as confirmed in the Shruti mantra, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena chatam yena chatani jivanti yat paryanti of his sam vishanti. The original cause of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after being annihilated, everything enters into him. Prakritim yanti mamikam. Thus, the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra or Lord Krishna, is the original cause of everything. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karma Paraya. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. End of quote. Brahma Samhita 5.1. The Lord is the cause of everything, but there is no cause for him. Sarvam Lav Idam Brahma Mata Matsani Sarvabhutani Nachaham Teso Avastita. Although he is everything, his personality is different from the cosmic manifestation. Text 4. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his own energy, keeps this cosmic manifestation, and again, sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus, he is transcendental to everything. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has multi potencies. Therefore, as soon as he likes, he uses one of his potencies, and by that expansion, he creates this cosmic manifestation. Again, when the cosmic manifestation is annihilated, it rests in him. Nonetheless, he is infallibly the supreme observer. Under any circumstances, the Supreme Lord is changeless. He is simply a witness and is aloof from all the creation and annihilation. Text number 5. In due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. From the Vedic mantras, we understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above everything. He is supreme above all the demigods, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. He is the supreme controller. When everything disappears by the influence of his energy, the cosmic situation is one of dense darkness. The Supreme Lord, however, is the sunshine, as confirmed in the Vedic mantras, Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. In our daily experience, when we on earth are in the darkness of night, the sun is always luminous somewhere in the sky. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Sun, always remains luminous even when the entire cosmic manifestation is annihilated in due course of time. Text number 6. An artist on stage, being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements, is not understood by his audience. Similarly, The activities and features of the supreme artist cannot be understood even by the demigods or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. Neither the demigods and sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord, nor can they express in words his actual position. May that supreme personality of Godhead give me protection. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A similar understanding was expressed by Kunti Devi. The Supreme Lord exists everywhere, within and without. He even exists within the heart. Sarvasachaham Priti Sanivistaro Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Erte Se Rijuna Tistati. Thus, it is indicated that one can find the Supreme Lord within one's heart. There are many yogis trying to find him. Danvan Dhyana Vastita Tad Tatena Manasa Pasyantiyam Yogina. Nonetheless, even great yogis, demigods, saints, and sages have been unable to understand the bodily features of that great artist, nor could they understand the meaning of his movements, which then is to be said, what then is to be said of ordinary speculators, like the so-called philosophers of this material world? For them, he is impossible to understand. Therefore, we must accept the statements given by the Supreme when he kindly incarnates to instruct us. We must simply accept the word of Lord Ramachandra, Lord Krishna, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and follow in their footsteps. Then it may be possible for us to know the purpose of their incarnations. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veditatpata chakvadeham punarjanma naiti mam epi. So Arjuna, Bhagavad Gita 4.9. If by the Lord's grace one can understand him, one will immediately be delivered even within his material body. And the uh, the material body will no longer have any function. And whatever activities take place with the body will be activities of Krishna consciousness. In this way, one may give up his body and return home back to Godhead. Text 7. Renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of brahmacharya, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse describes the qualifications for devotees or persons highly elevated in spiritual consciousness. Devotees are always equal to everyone, seeing no distinction between lower and higher classes. Pandita Samadarshina, they look upon everyone as a spirit soul who is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, Thus, they are competent to search for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the friend of everyone. Surhidam idam Brahmabhutam. They act as friends of everyone on behalf of the Supreme Lord, making no distinctions between one nation and another, or one community and another. They preach the Krishna consciousness, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita everywhere. Thus, they are competent to see the lotus feet of the Lord. Such creatures in Krishna consciousness are called Paramahamsas, as indicated by the word Vimukta Sangha. They have some noting to do. They have nothing to do with material conditions. One must take shelter of such a devotee in order to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Well, that's why we have classes every day, and morning and evening, so that we can take shelter of a devotee and in order to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 8 and 9. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults to fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed. He comes in the form of a human being, like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna, by his original internal potency. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is, therefore, the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Vishnu Purana, it is said, Gunams cha dosams cha mune vyatita samasta kalyana gunat mukho hi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material form, qualities, or fault. He is spiritual and is the only reservoir of all spiritual qualities. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paritranaya, Satanam, Vichaya, Vinasaya, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinasaya Chatuskritam, the Lord's activities of saving the devotees and annihilating the demons are transcendental. Anyone annihilated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead gets the same result as a devotee who is protected by the Lord. Both of them are transcendentally promoted. The only difference is that one is a devotee. The only difference is that a devotee goes directly to the spiritual planets and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, whereas demons are promoted to Brahmaloka, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Both of them, however, are transcendentally promoted. The Lord's killing or annihilating of the demons is not exactly like the killing of this material world. Although he appears to act within the modes of material nature, he is nirguna, above the modes of nature. His name is not material. Otherwise, how could one get liberation by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama? The names of the Lord, like Rama and Krishna, are non-different from the person Rama and Krishna. Thus, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the mantra one constantly associates with Thus, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one constantly associates with Rama and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore becomes liberated. A practical example is Ajamila, who always remained transcendental to his activities simply by chanting the name of Narayana. If this was true of Ajamila, what is to be said of the Supreme Lord? When the Lord comes to this material world, he does not become a product of matter. This is confirmed throughout Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam ivam Janma karma chame divyam avajanantimam mudha manusim dhanam asritam. Therefore, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rama or Krishna, descends to act transcendently for our benefit, we should not consider him an ordinary human being. When the Lord comes, he does so on the basis of his spiritual potency. Sambhavami Atma Maya, because he is not forced to come by the material energy. He always keeps the he is always transcendental. One should not consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary human being. Material names and forms are contaminated, but spiritual name and spiritual form are transcendental. Text number 10. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent Supersoul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightened the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the individual soul through mental, physical, or intellectual exercise. It is by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the individual soul is enlightened. Therefore, the Lord is described here as Atma Pradipa. The Lord is like the sun, which illuminates everything and cannot be illuminated by anyone. Therefore, if one is serious about understanding the Supreme, one must receive enlightenment from him. As instructed in Bhagavad Gita, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's mental, physical, or intellectual powers. Text number 11. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who are in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower, he is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood only by devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasme tattvata. If one wants to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in truth, one must take to the activities of devotional service. These activities are which these activities are called sattva or suddha sattva. In the material world, activities of goodness, which are symptomatic of a pure Brahmana, are appreciated. But the activities of devotional service are Suddha Sattva. In other words, they are on the transcendental platform. Only by devotional service can one understand the Supreme. Devotional service is called Nes Karma. Mere negation of material activity will not endure. Nice karmyam api achuta bhava varjitam, unless one performs activities with reference to Krishna consciousness. Cessation of material activities will not be helpful. In hopes of achieving nice karma, freedom from material action, mighty great elevated sannyasis stopped their activities. Yet they failed and returned to the to the material platform to act as materialistic persons. But once one is engaged in the spiritual activities of bhakti yoga, one does not fall down. Our Krishna consciousness movement is therefore an attempt to engage everyone always in spiritual activity, by which one becomes transcendental to material actions. The spiritual activities of Bhakti Marga, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam. Here, the spiritual activities of Brahma Bhakti Marga, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, lead one to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, as stated here, Sattvena Prati Labhyaya Naiskarmya Vas Karmyena Vipaschita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. The Gopala Tapani Upanishad says, Bhakti Asya Bhajanam Tad Iham Mutro Khadi Nairas Yen I Vam Muslim Manasa Kalpanam Etad Evacha Nes Karmyam. This is a definition of nice karma. One acts in nice karma when he fully engages in Krishna consciousness activities without material desires to enjoy either here or in the upper planetary system. In the present life or in future life, iha amudra, any anyabhyasita sunyam, when one is freed from contamination, and he acts in devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master, one is on the platform of nice karma. By such transcendental devotional service, the Lord is served. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Text number 12. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nishingadeva, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varaha Deva, to Lord Dattatreya, who preached impersonalism, to Lord Brahma, and to all the other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities as goodness, passion, and ignorance. Within this material world, he also offers my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. In the previous verses, it has been described that although the Supreme Personality of God has no material form, he accepts innumerable forms to favor his devotees and kill the demons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many inclinations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that they are like the waves of a river. The waves of a river flow incessantly, and no one can count how many waves there are. Similarly, no one can calculate when and how the different incarnations of the Lord appear according to the necessities of time, place, and candidates. The Lord appears perpetually, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada yada hi dharmasya kalanya bhavati bharata abhiyukta anam adharmasya tadatmanam srijam yam. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. In the natural world, there is always the possibility of deviation from Krishna consciousness. And therefore, Krishna and his devotees always act in various forms to curb such godlessness. Even impersonalists who stress the knowledge feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead want to merge in the effulgence of the Lord. Therefore, here the word jnana ganaya indicates that for atheists who disbelieve in the form and existence of the Lord, all these various incarnations appear since the Lord Krishna comes to teach in so many forms. No one can say that there is no God. The word jnana, jana, gana, jana, ganaya is especially used here to refer to those whose knowledge has become solidified by dint of their searching for the Lord through speculative philosophical understanding. Superficial knowledge is useless for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when one's knowledge becomes extremely intense and deep, one understands Vasudeva. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. A jnani attains this stage after many, many births. Therefore, the word jnana, jnana ganaya is used here. The word santaya indicates that Lord Vasudeva is situated in everyone's heart, but does not act within the living entity. And personalists, jnanis, realize Vasudeva when they are fully matured in knowledge. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Text 13. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the Supreme Soul, the superintendent of everything, and the witness of all that occurs. You are the Supreme Person, the origin of material nature, and of the total material energy. You are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, You are the supreme complete. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita 13.3, the Lord says, Kshetragyam Shapimam Piti Sarvashetrashu Bharata. O Skyana Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. Every one of us is thinking, I am this body, or this is my body. But actually, the truth is different. Our bodies are given to us by the Supreme Proprietor, the living body, who is also Kshetragya, or the knower of the body, is not the body's only proprietor. The actual proprietor of the body is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Kshetragya. For example, we may rent and occupy a house, but actually the owner of the house is the landlord. Similarly, we may be allotted a certain type of body as a facility with which to enjoy this material world. But the actual property of the body is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is called Sarvadiya Yaksha because everything in the material world works under his supervision. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:10, wherein the Lord says, Maya Dakshana Prakriti, Suyate Cha Characham. This material nature, working under my direction, O son of Kunti, is producing all moving and unmoving beings. From Prakriti or material nature come so many varieties of living entities, including aquatics, plants, trees, insects, birds, animals, human beings, and demigods. Prakriti is the mother, and the Supreme Personality Godhead is the father. Aham bija pradapita. Prakriti can give us material bodies, but as spiritual souls, we are part and parcels and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamayavam so Jiva Loke, Jiva Buddhasana, the living entity, being part and parcel of God, is not a product of this material world. Therefore, the Lord is described in this verse as Atma Mula, the original source of everything. He is the seed of all existences. Vijam Mam Sarvabhutanam. In Bhagavad Gita 14.4, the Lord says, Sarva Yoni Suponteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahid Yonir Iham Nija Pradapita. It should be understood that all living entities in all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature. And the seed-giving great father, and the okay. It should be understood that all living entities in all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Plants, trees, insects, aquatics, demigods, beasts, birds, and all other living entities are sons or parcels of the Supreme Lord. But because they are struggling with different mentalities, they have been given different types of bodies. Mana, Sastan, Indriyani, Prakriti Stani, Karsati. Thus they have become sons of Prakriti, or material nature, which is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every living entity in this material world is struggling for existence, and the only salvation or relief from the cycle of birth and death is uh, the evolutionary process. Sorry, let me read that again. Every living entity in this material world is struggling for existence. And the only salvation or relief from the cycle of birth and death in the evolutionary process is full surrender. This is indicated by the word Nama. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 14. My Lord, you are the observer of all the objectives of the senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problem of doubts. The material world is just like a shadow resembling you. Indeed, one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your existence. Text number, I'm sorry, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. What time is it right now? Is it 7:20?
28, yeah.
28, yeah.
You're almost there at time.
Yeah. To paraphrase this verse, the objectives of sensual activities are actually observed by you. Without your direction, the living entity cannot take even a step forward. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya Chaham Kridisani Visto, Matak Smitir Gyanam Apahanam Cha. You are situated in everyone's heart, and only from you come remembrance and forgetfulness. Chayeva Yasya Vivanani Vibhati Durga, the living entity under the clutches of Maya wants to enjoy this material world, but unless you give him the direction and remind him he cannot make progress in pursuing his shadowy objective in life. The conditioned soul wrongly progresses toward the wrong objective, life after life, and he is reminded of that objective by you. In one life, the conditioned soul desires to progress toward a certain objective, but after his body changes, he forgets everything. Nonetheless, my Lord, because he wanted to enjoy something of this world, you remind him of this in his next birth. Matak Smitir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Because the conditioned soul wants to forget you, by your grace, you give him opportunities, life after life, by which he can almost perpetually forget you. Therefore, you are eternally the director of the conditioned souls. It is because you are the original cause of everything that everything appears real. The ultimate reality is your Lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. The word Sarva Pratyaya Hetave is explained by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, who says that a result gives one a glimpse of its cause. For example, since an earthen pot is the result of the actions of a potter, by seeing the earthen pot, one can guess at the existence of the potter. Similarly, this material world resembles the spiritual world, and any intelligent person can guess how it is acting. And it's as explained in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Sriti Satcharakshanam. The activities of the material world suggest that behind them is the superintendent of the Lord. Okay. I think we're finished.
Yes, we are at time, Maharaj.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, my dear devotees. We are going to read next the Canto 8, Chapter 3, text 15, starting tomorrow.
Very good.
All glories to
Shiva.
divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? It's amazing how Prabhupada spends so much time explaining all these things. It's unbelievable. When did he sleep?
Hare Krishna.
He hardly slept 2 hours every day, maybe sometimes 3. That was it. The rest of the time he was translating and doing so many things, not just this, but he did so many other things also. Haribol. All glories to His divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, my dear devotees. Unless you have any questions or comments. If not, we will stop here and pick it up again tomorrow. Text 15. Canto 8, Chapter 3, Text 15. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.